Let me ask you something you probably do not want to answer honestly. When was the last time you ended a day and genuinely felt like you moved your life forward? Not just completed things, not just stayed busy, but actually did something that brought you closer to who you are trying to become. If you are struggling to remember, that is not a time problem. That is a priority problem. And it is more common than you think. Because here's what nobody talks about. The busiest people are often the least productive. Not because they're lazy, but because they have mastered the art of avoiding what actually matters by staying busy with everything that does not. And I know this because I was one of them. I had a season in my life where I was the busiest I had ever been. I had a list, I had a schedule, I had routines. I was ticking things off every single day. And yet 6 months passed, and I had not made a single meaningful step toward the things I actually wanted. My YouTube channel was still just a folder of unused ideas. The videos I kept telling myself I would make were still scripts in my head. The audience I wanted to build was still waiting for me to show up. And I remember my friend looking at me one day and asking, "What did you actually do this week that mattered?" And I had no answer. Because I had spent 6 months being productive at all the wrong things. If that hits close to home, stay with me, because what I'm about to show you is going to change how you see every single day. In 1954, President Dwight Eisenhower revealed a decision-making method he used to run one of the most powerful offices in the world. He divided every task into 4 categories: urgent and important, urgent but not important, important but not urgent, and neither urgent nor important. And he discovered something that most people never figure out. The tasks that actually change your life almost never feel urgent. Building your health, working on your goals, developing your skills, deepening your relationships. None of those send you notifications. None of those scream for your attention. They just sit there quietly, getting pushed aside by everything that feels urgent but means nothing. Psychologists call this priority blindness, the inability to see what actually matters because you're too busy reacting to what feels immediate. And here's the brutal truth about priority blindness. It doesn't feel like avoidance. It feels like productivity. That's what makes it so dangerous. Stay with me, because this is where everything changes. The most effective people in the world are not doing more than you. They're doing less. But everything they do is deliberately chosen. They protect their most important hours like they're guarding something sacred, because they are. And here's the method that makes that possible. It's called the priority anchor. Every morning, before you do anything else, before you check your phone, before you open your email, before you react to anything, you ask yourself one question. What is the one thing I could do today that would make everything else easier or unnecessary? Just one thing, not a list, not 10 priorities, one anchor. And that one thing becomes untouchable. It gets done before anything else gets a chance to steal your attention. Here's what that looked like for me. I realized the one thing I kept pushing aside every day was my YouTube channel. I had the ideas, I had the topics, I had everything I needed to start. But every day, something more urgent showed up first. A message to reply to, an errand to run, something to watch, something to scroll through. And my channel stayed exactly where it was, an idea sitting in a notebook going nowhere. So I made a rule. The first 90 minutes of every day belonged to the channel. No phone, no emails, no requests from anyone. Just the work that actually mattered. Within a month, I had produced more content than I had in the entire previous 3 months. Not because I suddenly had more time, but because I stopped letting urgent, unimportant things consume the time I already had. Here is why the priority anchor works when to-do lists never do. A to-do list treats every task as equal, but not every task is equal. Some tasks maintain your life, others transform it. The priority anchor forces you to choose the transformational task first, before the maintenance tasks consume everything. And your brain responds to that, because finally doing the thing that matters feels completely different from ticking off a list of things that never move the needle. Now, here are the mistakes people make when they try this. Mistake 1. Choosing the easiest task as their anchor instead of the most important one. The most important task is almost always the most uncomfortable one. If choosing your anchor feels easy, you're probably choosing the wrong thing. Mistake 2. Letting the anchor time get negotiated away. Someone will always need something from you in the morning. Your phone will always have something urgent on it. Protect the first 90 minutes like your future depends on it, because it does. Mistake 3. Changing the anchor every day. The power of this method comes from consistency. Pick the same category of work as your anchor every day. The business, the health, the skill. Let it become the first thing your brain expects to do every morning, until it becomes as automatic as brushing your teeth. You are not short on time. You never were. You are short of protection. Protection for the hours that actually matter. Protection for the work that actually moves your life forward. Protection for the version of yourself that keeps getting pushed to tomorrow. Start protecting it today. Not with a longer to-do list, with one anchor, one untouchable priority every single morning. That is the cipher. If this made you look at your day differently, share it with someone who is busy doing everything except what matters. And if you are ready to keep going deeper, you already know what to do. Subscribe to my channel and let's grow together.